Do you want to be a broke musician for the rest of your life? Every musician is broke. Go get a real job. Have you ever heard everybody say this? The broke musician mantra is actually pretty real because a lot of times we just don't know how to leverage what we have, and that goes for the same for most people out there. If you work a job, if you trade your time for money, you're in this boat. You're stuck in the rat race, and it's hard to become wealthy this way. You don't have to be a broke musician anymore. Let me explain what you can do. If you learn this concept, then you can understand how to start making more money with your music and actually live off of it. But you have to understand this concept. So there's this saying. It's the most classic saying. It's time is money, right? Time is money. What does that mean? That means that you trade your time for money. And that is a terrible idea, and let me explain why. If you want to create something greater than just surviving and just living and working until you're 65, then you're finally able to retire. You can finally be free, but your health is diminishing. Your body is falling apart, and you can't really do the things that you want to at that age. How is that worth it? How is it worth working your youth away, only getting 2 weeks off per year paid? Every other time, you have to work in order to get paid. This is why it's impossible. It's hard to get rich this way. Because when you say time is money, time is actually way more valuable than money. Time is a limited resource. And the fact that you tie your income to a limited resource means that you're going to have trouble making money beyond what you do in trade for your time. Even if you got paid $500 an hour, like there's a ceiling, there's a cap to it because your time is tied to your money. Whenever your time is tied to your money, you're going to struggle. You're going to have a hard time, and it's going to be hard to become wealthy. Let me explain this to you. There's two guys in this scenario, okay? Two guys. They both have $1 million. Guy one has $1 million. Guy two also has $1 million. But guy one made $1 million, and it took him 50 years. Okay? Guy two, however, he also has $1 million. They both have $1 million, but this guy made it in 1 year. What does that mean? That means that guy two is 50 times more wealthy than guy one. It's both $1 million, right? Nothing's changed. This is $1 million, this is $1 million. The only difference is this guy did it 50 times faster than this guy. Therefore, this guy is 50 times more wealthy. So if he did that for the next 50 years and he made $1 million, how much would he have? He would have $50 million. So, but nobody stays the same at the same income level, just $1 million up, right? They start to grow, they start to get better, they learn their skills, and that happens because they have time on their side. So time is the most valuable asset. So if most people are trading their time for money, and that's why they're stuck where they're at and they can't improve. And the saying time is money is one of the most manipulative things I've ever heard. It's being taught in our society because everything that we've been taught up until this point, everything in school has been tied to get a job, go to school, and then eventually when you get out, you'll be in debt, but then you'll have to make it up by trading your time for the money to pay off that debt. Based on what they're teaching in school, it's no wonder that everybody thinks the same way, is because that's what they've created. And so only the ones that disconnect themselves from this are able to create mass wealth or create something bigger than just your ordinary person. And it's not just time, there's other limited resources. Let's say you do something physical for your time. Your body breaks down eventually, right? So that's a limited resource. That means once your body breaks down, you can no longer earn money. Once you run out of time, you can no longer earn money. The only way to solve this is to remove any ties money has to a limited resource. You have to disconnect your income from your time. So you're probably asking, like, what does this have to do with music production? What does this have to do with anything? Well, let me explain this to you. Most musicians, what do? They charge per hour, right? If it's a recording studio, recording sessions, they charge per hour. Whether it's production, recording, mixing, mastering, a lot of people, the general public, they charge per hour. Per hour means that this is still tied together, regardless of if you're doing something you love, if you're doing this and that, it's still tied together. So therefore, if you run out of time, you can no longer make money. What I encourage you to do is stop charging per hour. And what you need to do is charge per result. Per outcome. Because this is the thing too. When you show value, how do you show value in per hour? When you charge per hour, all you can do is really pitch like features and benefits and stuff like that. If you work with me for an hour, you'll be able to, use my gear. You'll be able to use this recording studio. I'll be there with you. I'll engineer for you, all that stuff. It's just features and benefits, right? Features and benefits are great because it helps you get a result, but that's not the reason why you buy into something. If you bought into a coaching program, you're not buying to like work with a coach, right? You're not buying to be like, hey, I want to hang out with you. Or you don't go to the doctor's office to be like, hey, just want to see what's up with you, doc, right? You go there for a result. You want to find out what's wrong with you. You want to find out what's the best thing to do. So let's just say you sign up for a business coaching program. What is the result that you get out of that? The result is you come out with an outcome, right? You start making more money. You have the skills to make money, whatever it is. It's not charging per hour. You're investing in a result. The result is you become a business person. The result is you know how to build a business. So when you charge per result, you can demonstrate the value more. You can demonstrate the value more and you disconnect your time from the money. Let's say you're a graphic designer and it only takes you 2 minutes to draw up this awesome graphic, get it all done. But they're not paying for your time to make that logo. They're paying for the logo itself. So when you can produce the logo at a quick time and you can still deliver, you can still charge whatever you want for it. Let's say it's $2,000 for a logo. It doesn't matter if it took you 2 minutes. It doesn't matter if you took it an hour. It doesn't matter if it took you 3 days. It doesn't matter. All the client wants is the result. So when you charge per result, this is how you can disconnect your time from your money. And when you start learning how to do that, and when you can figure out ways where you can produce results for your clients instead of charging per hour, that's when you can start building real wealth. So how can you do that in your music? Let's say you're an engineer. The first guy says, I'll charge you $50 an hour to mix your song. So however long that takes, that's how much it's going to cost. What's the value in that? Whereas the second engineer, what if they said, I will mix your song. It's going to sound like it's radio ready. If you play it next to a Drake song, it's going to sound same loudness, same dynamics, it's going to sound great, right? And you say, I charge $3K for that. It doesn't matter if it took you 10 minutes to mix that, an hour to mix that, as long as you can produce that result, it means you can charge that much. And so once you figure out business models in which you can charge per result instead of per hour, this is when you disconnect your time from your money, and therefore you no longer are in that rat race. You're no longer trading your time, which is a more valuable asset, for money. And this is how you build greater wealth and stop being a broke musician. Just understand that no matter what the limited resource is, as long as your money is tied to that, it's going to be hard to create wealth. Because when is it ever a good time to tie something important like that to a limited resource? What if I said you can download the song, it's $15, but you can only listen to it 5 times? That's not very good. Or you remember when Blockbuster was a thing? It's cheaper to rent the movie because there's only a limited time, right? So whenever there's limited resources attached to whatever it is, it becomes less valuable. Same with your time. If you tie your money to your time, it's not going to be as valuable. I hope that was helpful for you guys. My goal is to get this broke musician mantra out of here. I know there's ways to make money as a musician. And if you're a producer and you want to learn how to make money and create a real career off of your music, I'm going to leave a link below. It's going to teach you exactly how to produce beats for artists and attract high-ticket clients. So if that's something you're into, please watch the webinar below. I'll leave the link and it's completely free. Feel free to join. Otherwise, I will catch you guys on the next video. Feel free to subscribe, feel free to like, feel free to hit the bell notification, do all those YouTube things that you would like to do, and I will see you in the next one.